Hey everybody, this is Dr. Joe Borio with this week's Thought Flash. Big reminder to everybody out there. We've got a big event coming up in New York City. It's going to be the 9th and 10th. It's going to be at LaGuardia. It's a Friday, Saturday. We start around Friday late afternoon, say 5 o'clock. We'll go right into the later part of the evening, and then we start up early on Saturday and we go all day right till about 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's going to be a great event. I'll tell you why. Matt McCoy is going to be with us, Dr. Matt McCoy. He is the editor of the Journal of Vertebral Subluxation Research. He was great last year. He spoke for us. He's going to be great this year. There's so much new research coming out on chiropractic, and I think for all of us that need to sharpen that sword, to get that certainty in place, to speak from a place from your heart and your head, and really be effective in influencing other people, members of your practice, new members, patients, what have you, about what chiropractic is and why they need to be there, why their family needs to be there, why everyone they know, the entire planet needs to be under chiropractic care. How can we say that with a surety, with certainty? And the more certain we are inside ourselves, the more certainty will certainly extend out, and we will definitely have a greater degree of influence on other people. So that's what's great about listening to guys like Dr. Matt McCoy. We've had Dr. Tom Culleton speak. He's phenomenal. He's somebody that's gone through the Carrick program, certainly a lot of good clinical hours on his own belt, and great guy to listen to. So certainly join us in New York. That being said, today I wanted to talk a little bit about maybe practice application, and what the heck does that mean? Well, what happens is, I get on these Thought Flashes and I'll read Giant versus Pygmy, or Life Without Fear, or The Doctor, all these other books. I'm listening to a great 30-day course by Sigafus. I've probably listened to it 100 days, 100 times, and just really enjoyed it. But, we need to get some practice application, because I have a lot of docs that call me and email me and text me and say, Doc, that was a great Thought Flash, or that was a great event, but, I want to hear, how do I put that into practice? Last week I talked a little bit about putting some things into practice, and that was just talking about the segment that you adjust, and neurologically what body part that innervates. I'll tell you, just doing that. I have clients that start with our program. Hey Doc, where do I start? You've got so much stuff. There's scripts and day 3 procedures, and how do I handle a first miss? How do I handle a re-exam? How do I handle marketing? How do I handle my office meetings? And that's just the surface. And then there's 100 things to learn in each of those. Where do I start? The place to start is in your head. I would say the 6 inches between your ears, but in their head, there's 6 inches between their ears. And how do you work on that? Start giving them the idea every time that when you adjust them, it affects their neurology. Not their back, not their pain, their neurology. See, because the way we need to change the world with what we do as chiropractors is we have to get them to understand that their illness, sickness, disease, in the manifestation of symptoms is 20, 30, 40 years in the making. That our job as chiropractors are to involve ourselves 30 years before the so-called backache or liver disease or heart disease or any type of sickness, illness, disease that develops the body. Our job is to get there before the body starts to break down, to slow the process, to allow the body to work the way it was intended, to express life the way it was intended. That's our job. One of the ways, one of many ways, but one of the ways to start expressing value, to get them to equate the adjustment to something valuable, to something that's changing their body, one of the ways is to talk about the adjustment and what area of the body it goes to. So let me give you an example. I walk into the room. You always want to have a hello. So, hi Bob, it's Happy Healthy Thursday. Now, our members are taught to lay down. That doesn't mean every single time they are, but the majority of the time, the patient or the member is lying down. We try to use the word member of our practice, because the word patient in Latin means one who suffers. So we want to be careful when we're trying to develop a lifetime family wellness practice. You start calling everybody patient, and you're the doctor, you become treating those that suffer. If they don't suffer, they're not coming back. Or they're coming back for a very weak reason, which means they're coming back for maintenance. They're coming back so they don't have the problem return, right? you're adjusting them and unfortunately treating them so that their degenerative arthritis and disc problem doesn't come back on them. That's weak. That's weak. You know, only on that level. Only on that level. So that being said, I'm going to walk the room. Hey, Bob, it's Happy Healthy Wednesday. Good to see you. Let's get you adjusted. Let's get you healthy today. And you're going to palpate. You're going to identify. You're going to look at your X-rays. I mean, however you do it. Bob, that area there is tight. That area goes to T7. That goes to the pancreas. Bob, and I'm doing this as I'm adjusting. Bob, I don't know if you know the pancreas controls your blood sugar and it helps with digestion. And man, that adjusted well. That means you're getting better nerve flow to the pancreas. In fact, Bob, hold on, quiet. I can actually hear the pancreas working better right now. That's what I can have. Bob, it was a great adjustment. See you on Wednesday. Try to confirm them on the next appointment when they're coming in for their next adjustment. I just broke my own rule. Try to call them adjustments, not appointments, right? Checkings. I'm going to check you, not an appointment, not a treatment. You'll find people say, I'm coming in for treatment. Well, you're coming in for an adjustment. You know, we're coming in for adjustment. You know, we're not really treating it. You know, and guys, I know that it's tough. And I know that some of the things I tell you to do are a big leap for some of you because you're practicing in a different realm. But I will tell you that just making some of these changes. You know, I had a couple clients call me and say, you know, or they wanted to be clients, and they said, you know, I'm not going to join your program because I don't want to see 600 a day. Well, the reality, guys, is I don't see 600 a day anymore, number one. And number two, what you don't have to want to see 600 to be part of our program. Just implementing some of what I show you will dramatically change your practice. Maybe you want to see less or work less hours and see the same number of people. I've had clients do that. Look at that. I see 300 people in a week, but I'm working 6 days a week. I'd love to do that in 3 days. I'd like to see 100 a day, 3 times a week. You know, maybe that's what your growth is. Maybe it's just more money. Maybe it's learning to be more efficient. Maybe it's learning to have more children, more families, what have you. But I certainly had grown one of the largest family practice chiropractic offices on the planet, and it's something. I don't say that out of arrogance. I say that to express to all of you, to impress upon all of you that look, I got this figured out to a very large degree, and I still do it. I still go to work every day. You know, if I'm not in the office, I'm traveling somewhere, or I'm trying to spend time with my family. But the reality is, I'm still doing it, and I'll tell you why I do it. Bottom line, I love to do it. I mean, I love to do it. I think anyone will tell you that there's a lot of easier ways probably to make a buck. Being a chiropractor is not an easy task, and I truly believe that those that are chiropractors for the right reason, are called. They really are called, because if you believe in the philosophy of chiropractic, if you accept that as doctrine to you, you realize that there is no coincidence. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a plan. Everything has an intention. And you're called to that calling. You're brought to that level of service. Because what we do as chiropractors, and I'll end here, guys, what we do as chiropractors is unique to any other healthcare profession. We are truly the wellness chiropractor, wellness doctor, if we can use that term. We are truly the wellness profession. We're the dentists of the spine. We are the dentists of the spine. Listen, I don't want to get involved when you got, you know, gingivitis and your teeth are rotting out of your head. I want to get involved before that even happens. So much sooner that before you even have plaque buildup on the brush and floss and take really good care, so the messages can get there. You know, you got to express that the neurology's there. No one can do that. And because you're not going to take their appendix out in crisis, because you're not going to reach in their chest and massage their heart in the middle of a heart attack. I understand that. We're not that type of healthcare provider. That doesn't lessen your need. It doesn't lessen the need of your presence in their healthcare. At crisis care or ideally at wellness care. So they always need good neurology, always. Whether they have cancer, heart disease, or no symptom at all. And I think to really generate a large practice and a stable practice and a fun practice, a fun one, the one that I have where you're going in and people are there because they feel good and they want to keep feeling good. For general, I'm not saying people don't come in with aches and pains and so forth when they start, but to really generate that, you got to get into that wellness mindset. You got to get them to value what it is you do as a chiropractor, is what we do as a profession. You got to get them to value what we do as a profession. for them to come in, bring their kids in, and just lay there and get adjusted. You're not having to take a history every time. You're not having to do a full evaluation exam every time. And you know what's nice is they can come in, they get adjusted, you check them, and they leave. And that's great. They value it. It only takes moments to do those types of adjustments. They're fun. It's exciting. It's high fives. It's hugs. And by having some standards in your practice, you'll make better members of your practice. You'll have more fun. You'll run the practice rather than them running it, right? We've all been there. I've been there. And it'll be a lot more fun for you. Hopefully I've given you some good information today, guys. Remember, may your innate always flow from above down, and serve the people and enjoy time with your friends and your family. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Remember to join us in New York City. Remember to join us in New York City. I'm really looking forward to meeting some new people and hopefully having some new members of our consulting team. It would be great. So thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Best friend gave me the best advice. He said each day